You've probably heard this advice before. Every great story needs a hero. And lately I've seen people try to apply that to finance, but honestly I find it a bit ridiculous. Although I would love to see myself as a superhero in a meeting room, it simply doesn't work in our job. It doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for the audience, and it even doesn't work for the customer. So today, let's debunk this myth about why the whole hero story idea would work and see what actually does work. Before we get into it, there's something sad that I have to tell you. 75% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed yet. So if that's you, take 2 seconds to hit subscribe, especially if you're in finance and want to learn how to make people actually listen when you speak. Alright, let's talk about this so-called hero. The idea of a hero story comes from a guy named Joseph Campbell. He studied myth and said that every great story, from Star Wars to The Lion King, follows the same structure. The hero leaves the ordinary world, faces challenges, learns lessons, and returns transformed. Let me quickly show you what that story structure looks like. It usually starts in the ordinary world. Things are calm. Then comes a call to adventure, a problem or an opportunity. The hero first refuses the call, then meets a mentor who gives advice. They cross the threshold, face tests and enemies, and reach the ordeal, the big challenge. After that, there's reward, return, and finally transformation. It's a 12-step loop that always ends with growth or victory. In movies, it's the perfect emotional roller coaster. In finance, when someone tries to copy that curve, it gets weird. Because our ordeal is usually a variance in EBITDA, and our reward is a slightly improved forecast. Keep that in mind because it's why this model feels so out of place in our world. And that model has been copied everywhere, from leadership trainings to marketing books. Every business storytelling gurus now say, make your CFO the hero, or make the audience the hero of your story. I get it. Characters are relatable. People remember characters. It sounds logical. Humans connect with characters. We remember stories with faces and emotions. So people think, if I make my presentation about a hero, maybe a project, a team, or a customer, I'll make finance relatable. Sometimes that works in a business environment, but not in a finance meeting where we present the monthly, the quarterly results, or even the budget. And here's why. Finance stories are not about one person. They're about systems, teams, and dependencies. A forecast doesn't change because a lone hero took a sword to the cost base. It changes because assumptions, prices, and priorities shifted. Then there's the audience. Busy people, in most cases. Their time isn't for character development, it's for decision making. They wonder what happened, what's the impact, and what do we do now? My famous 3 what structure. And yes, I know, there are end users and customers in the end, but don't bother about that. Remember the context. But in corporates, most people work in silos. Marketing will care about their campaign, operations will care about their throughput, and deep down, everyone's thinking about their bonuses. So when you tell them they're the hero, it feels off. They don't need flattery, let's be honest. It feels good sometimes, but when you're at work, you want to be clear about what you get. If the end customer isn't the hero, the CFO isn't the hero, and the audience isn't the hero, then who is? Exactly. Because in finance, there isn't one hero. There are dozens of people making imperfect decisions with limited information, all trying to hit a moving target. And when you try to wrap that into a hero's journey, it just sounds fake. Our reality is messier, faster, and full of constraints, which is exactly why we need a structure that helps people follow. Imagine if you wanted to present your monthly result with a hero journey. Here's what it would give. But before I show you the disaster of a hero journey in a finance presentation, If you're a finance leader listening to this, please don't send your team to a storytelling workshop done for marketers as salespeople. Don't ask ChatGPT to make your finance story more emotional. Reach out to me instead, and let's train your team to structure real financial stories that make people decide in a context that work for you. Get in touch with me in the link below or on Sufyan@thefinancecircle.com. Now let's see how it sounds when you actually try to apply a hero story in a finance meeting. So this month, our sales team began in the ordinary world of Q2 targets. Then came the challenge, inflation, rising costs, and of course the villain, underperforming results. But our brave marketing team didn't give up, and they invested a lot of time in the campaigns and the Facebook ads, which gave incredible results. Okay, sorry, Sufyan. Can we get to the actual numbers and what drives their variance, please? That's what happens when you use the wrong story in the wrong room. What works best in financial storytelling is structure. And the best one I know is the Mento pyramid. You start with the main message, the one insight your audience must remember and act upon. Then you support it with 3 or 4 key reasons. And only then you go to the recommendation part where you must expect discussions and facilitation. It respects time, it's clear, and more importantly, it drives action. You don't need a hero's transformation. You just need understanding. So, should finance presentations have heroes? Maybe, but if they do, make the hero the decision. The moment where people will turn your financial insights into something that's really useful for them. The goal is not to turn your meeting into a movie. It's to make sure everyone leaves the room knowing exactly what to do next. That's the only kind of story that matters in finance. And if you want to master that kind of stories, get my free 7-day financial storytelling starter pack. It's where I teach the exact process that turns dashboards into decisions. You'll find the link below or on thefinancecircle.com/starter pack.